Hey, this is Matt once again. What about you in the videos? Another paid request this time for Guillermo. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, requests, topics, reactions, commentaries, re-reviews, whatever you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Also, if you hear my stomach rumbling, I apologize. I am making some food. It'll take, a little while for it to get done. So sorry, stomach, you don't have to wait. So hear some wisecracks from the stomach. So just tell him to shut up. Although maybe the stomach is rumbling because he's having flashbacks of watching this movie called Death Valley from 2021, which honestly, Guillermo sent in 4 requests, a commentary and 3 movies. And of the 3 movies, I thought this was the worst one because it's the most boring one, and it's weird that these 3 films had a connection where this looks like it has a Doom imp. Remember you played the Doom video games, or if you even watched the Doom 2005 movie, or even that crappy Doom Annihilation, the imp creature in Doom. That's kind of what the creature in this looks like, and that's also what the creatures look like in Neil Marshall's The Lair. And then there's another film called The Prey where that takes place in Afghanistan with soldiers, and The Lair has Afghanistan with soldiers. It's weird, like this has the same look at creatures as that movie, and then that has the same Afghanistan plot as this movie. Like all 3 of them almost had some kind of note of you guys do kind of similar shit, and all around the same time, 2021, 2022. This one, like I said, it's the most boring of the 3. Dull, lackluster characters, below average acting. It does nothing new, interesting. It's not that exciting. It's not even that gory. So I don't know what it's a Shudder film. So maybe that's another warning sign that's a Shudder exclusive. But it's gruesome. What's gruesome about it? There's not much gore in it. And the plot is very simple. You got 2 mercenaries. One, it's his last job, and this woman he needs to get back to. And then the buddy who does wisecracks is saying lines like, the Andrew Militia, they're the ultimate cop block, or everything is about sex, except for sex, which is about everything else. But the acting, it's not the worst I've seen, but it's below average. It's meh. And they're sent to rescue this trapped scientist from this bunker, where there's one creature that looks like the imp from fucking Doom. I mean, the cover there tells you what the creature looks like. I appreciate it's practical. I appreciate it's a man in a suit. But not much is done with it, to be honest. So they accept this. It begins with this place is shut down and people are trying to escape. The door is shut. The lady scientist is trapped. Another guy's trapped. He just dragged under the shutter. Cut to our lead characters. I already told you all about their characters because there's nothing else about them other than the buddy wants to be the guy's kids. The guy's going to have a kid. The other guy wants to be the godfather of that kid. They go on this mission. This one lady explaining the mission, the fucking music is louder than her talking. They go with this group of other soldiers and they find a guy. Our lead guy doesn't shoot him. Instead, he's like, no, we're going to tie him up. Which is funny because they tie him up to a tree, but they don't gag his mouth. I don't know why they don't gag his mouth, because you think, okay, he's tied up, but his mouth could yell, scream, curse, whistle, zippity fucking doo-dah. No, they tie him up, arms behind a tree, but they don't gag his mouth. They don't tie up his mouth. I don't know why. Lo and behold, that guy able to get to the bad guys, and the bad guys attack the soldiers. Now, some of the action in this forest area, it's there. There's some alright shots of stunt work, people, explosions, and people flying back, or a guy running, trying to look like a Call of Duty video game, or trying to look like that scene in Universal Soldier Regeneration when Van Damme's running, the camera's following him along. some of it looks alright, some decent shots, although still a low budget affair. But I mean, it's not the worst I've seen. I've seen much worse, but also nothing extremely cool or awesome either. And where our two guys are left, and they get to the bunker, and they find the lady scientist. And it's a series of being in these tight corridors, or although it doesn't really have much suspense, it doesn't really feel with a sense of dread or atmosphere. Which, if you don't have tight corridors, and as much as I don't like Barbarian the movie, it did a good job of showcasing these corridors and how tightly claustrophobic it is in that movie. This, not at all the case. I mean, there's other low budget films that have showcased that, but it wasn't the case in this. And you know what this is? It's a crappy version of Overlord. People, in this case mercenaries, but people on a mission to they save this woman. There's some experiments being done where people are changing to monsters. And just go watch Overlord. That's a pretty good movie. Just go watch that instead. Instead of this fucking film. And they just wander around with the lady. They find another lady who's one of their comrades who went in a different way. Entered the facility a different direction. Seems like she's turning. There's other bad guys there trying to shoot our lead characters. There's a guy, one of our characters gets bit in the arm by what looks like a zombie. Hell, there's a fucking Princess Bride reference where the bad guy goes, "You killed my brother." And the other guy goes, "Prepare to die? Remember Princess Bride?" Yeah, I mean, yeah, I already knew, but thanks for also letting us know. By the way, in case you're too stupid to get it, it's from The Princess Bride. Again, when you just have characters that Overlord had at least good acting. You have the lead guy who's not the most adept at combat. He's a little bit more idealistic. You have Wyatt Russell, the son of Kurt Russell, holding his own as the tough guy, badass. And that acting worked. Those characters, well, no, they're not three-dimensional depth where you learn everything and the sun about them, but they're good enough to make me give a shit about their predicament. Unlike this. And there's not a whole lot of action with the monster. There's not a whole lot of action with the monster killing people. There's not a whole lot. Maybe they shoot a little bit and they run off. But because it's one monster, they don't really get a lot of a play with it. A lot of action sequences, a lot of excitement or carnage. That's one thing I'll say that The Lair, which is a review coming up with Neil Marshall, at least did that. That's a flawed film, but after watching this and The Prey, Legend of Canatis, whatever the fuck it was called, that's why The Lair, I'm going to give a little bit of leeway, because for low budget direct-to-video film, although very flawed, I had some mindless fun with that movie. And yeah, at least Neil Marshall, which he's had some flops as well, like The Reckoning, and I didn't like the Hellboy reboot, but at least he knew to have multiple creatures to shoot and fight and interact, and some get killed and some kill the good guys, and at least he knew to have a bit of that. Although that does have some major flaws as well. This, it was just fucking boring at the end of the day. And spoiler alert, you find out that the lady scientist was made in a lab, and she was trying to escape, and she's pregnant, and I guess the Doom Imp creature is like her hubby, her boyfriend, whatever the fuck. Because there are experiments being done, and she's never left this lab, and she's, again, test tube baby, however you want to call it. And she's with the monster. So they did a fight with the lady. He's able to kick their ass, and she's trying to escape. They did a little bit of fight with the monster. Then they did a flamethrower, and the guy, and this over the top yelling. Now the flamethrower, I like this, a practical real flamethrower, and it burns up the creature, and that's done practically. That's cool. I don't know why we couldn't just have more of this flamethrower where he's shooting at and the creature's dodging there, the creature is moving out of the way, or have more than one creature, have 3 creatures, have 4, and get some more carnage fun out of it, but whatever. And then the two chase the lady down. They have this clunky fight with the lady where they're trying to make her a badass, like to beat these two mercs ass because of her test tube baby nature, test tube strength. And it ends with the one guy putting something around her neck, jumping down the hatch, and strangling the shit out of her. The wisecracker, the sidekick, has been bitten, and he's bleeding to death, and he dies. So our lead guy gets out, but then he's wounded. He tries to call his wife. He can't. And then some people find him. His eyes have turned. He's a fucking villain. He's turned as well. And they do a lame jump scare ending where his eyes are turned white and goes, end a movie. So a lame, unsatisfying ending, below average acting, lackluster, dull characters, really not much gore. The little bit in the forest has some alright action. The monster, if you don't care that it looks like the imp from Doom, it's a nice looking practical creature, but at the same time, not a whole lot's done with it. Again, at the very least, Neil Marshall in the Lair movie at least had like one punch a hole through someone's head or rip a face off, or you don't really get any of that in this movie. So what are you supposed to like about this? And I don't even know why the fuck it's called Death Valley. Just don't take place in Death Valley. I mean, I guess it's a valley, and I guess there's death in it, but I thought it was a weird title for this kind of movie involving a bunker, Death Valley. I don't know. Just when you look at that title, you think of desert, sand, because of the actual Death Valley. So I don't know. It was a weird choice for a title. Whatever. No wonder I never heard of this film. I should have known I'd be in trouble because it's a Shudder exclusive. But you need more than a practical creature. There's a lot of practical creatures back in the day. Stephen King's Graveyard Shift. Even the metal creature and Death Machine. There's a lot of movies back in the day that work. Hell, Watchers and Watchers 2. The monsters don't look the best, but I like the characters. And they seem a bit of a faster pace compared to this movie. Let alone a more satisfying ending, among other stuff. So. But like I said with every... Well, I don't say it, but the notion with every video is make up your own mind. Watch the trailer. Calm down. Watch the trailer. See it for yourself if you want to. Whether I like or dislike the film, I'm just giving my honest opinion. It's not the truth. It's subjective. Have your own subjective. At least if you know this exists, give it a watch and find out for yourself. Maybe you liked it more than me. Maybe you hate it as much as I did. Who knows? But thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. This fucking movie, man. This is boring as shit.